Today's topics: affiliate SEO, SEO awards, women in SEO. Affiliate SEO, SEO awards, women in SEO. What's up, Tim? Jenny, make sure you turn off like your speakers so we can get the echo. Can you use headphones?
Not unless I use the huge one, but I'll turn it down to get, because I don't normally get a network from them.
Yeah, I think headphones will work. FB 091148, what's up? Hobby, what's up, my man? Stefan, happy Friday. Today's topics, we'll be talking about affiliate marketing, affiliate SEO. Don't forget, I have a free marketing conference. Go to seo.video/conference to sign up. Bradley, what's up? Oh yeah, Jenny in the house. I'll be doing some pop quizzes today. Not sure what I'm going to be giving out. Probably can give out some 1-week access to IMG courses. I can buy you a beer. Whatever you want. Let's make it SEO related. conference next week is free on Tuesday. We have Rand Fishkin on there, Craig Campbell, Itamar Blauer, so much more. You have a nice setup there, Jenny. I love it.
Try to have a bit of a snazzy background.
Come on, what's up? Happy Friday, brother. Today we'll be talking about affiliate marketing, affiliate SEO, women in SEO. All right, guys, what's up, everyone? Enough promo over there. Be sure to say hi. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're from. See a bunch of you out there. Don't be shy. Say hi. Happy Friday, y'all. Affiliate marketing is something I've always wanted to do. I haven't really got into, so I'm very, very interested in today's topic to speak with my special guest, Jenny Aboubaia, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right. Three minutes, guys. 3 minutes. Jenny's in the chat. You can say what's up to her in the chat. We got less than 2 minutes, guys. Less than 2 minutes. Hobby, what time is it where you're at right now? All right, guys, coming close to showtime. Kayak Life, what's up?
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO. You will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show, where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week, and it's about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest this week is the founder of Clever Touch Marketing, Jenny Aboubaia. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone's chat. I see Kayak, Jenny, Hobby, Tim, Aman, Stefan. So many of you guys are Bradley, Tim. All right. Okay, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. How did the SEO find their way back through the woods? Breadcrumbs.
All right, now let's start first with Google News. Google just posted a new episode of the Search Off the Record podcast. John, Martin, and Gary are joined by a special guest, Aurora Morales, from the Trust and Safety Policy and Transparency team. They talk about the website monetization, publisher policies, and how Google runs search experiments, and more. John Muller answers a question on finding index pages using the site : parameter. Let's check it out.
When I check my website in Google, it only shows 28 instead of 180 URLs. Why is that? The short answer to this question is that a site query is not meant to be complete nor used for diagnostics purposes. A site query is a specific kind of search that limits the results to a certain website. It's basically just the word site, a colon, and then the website's domain name. While using this query limits the results to a specific website, it's not meant to be a comprehensive collection of all of the pages from that website. If you're keen on finding out how many pages Google has indexed from your website, then use Search Console instead. Google Search Console is a free tool that site owners can use to get more information about how Google Search sees their website. Within Search Console, you can see how your pages are shown in search, as well as the number of pages that are currently indexed. So, in short, don't worry about the counts shown in a site query. Use Search Console instead.
As I mentioned in previous episodes, using the site parameter plus your domain and keyword is a great way to find internal linking opportunities. There's been a lot of chatter on Google changing the title tags in search results. Bill Hartzer gives us his recommendations on how to see if Google has changed your titles.
This is kind of a dynamic thing that Google's doing. They've been doing it for 10 years. And so as SEOs, we should not be surprised at all that they are going to change your title tag. And so there's not much at this point you can do. The only thing that I recommend is that you do look at the search results, look at your rankings, look at way Google's showing your results, and you're showing your actual site, your listing. Okay, so for searching for certain queries. So if there's a keyword, sure, your page may be ranking for 10 different keywords or 10 different keywords, that particular page. Look at the most frequently used keyword, that, the ideal keyword for that page. Do a search. Look at the title tag, wait a day, look at the title tag again, see if Google's determining it or changing it. Maybe use a unique identifier in that title tag, for example, like a hyphen versus a pipe symbol, or two colons. And that if Google's rewriting the whole thing, the whole title tag and they remove the 2 colons and you're using 2 colons in the middle of your title tag, and sure, they're rewriting it.
This reminds me of about a Google Ads feature called responsive search ads. You give multiple headlines and they dynamically create like an ad headline to match the searcher's query that would provide the highest CTR. If Google is changing your meta title, maybe it's a good way to increase CTR. Studies. Well, what is that? Hold on. Hey, hello, hey, I'm actually. Wait, what's up, Eric? Hold on. Let me patch you in real quick.
Hey, Dre, it's Eric Newton from Milestone Inc. Thanks for having me on. I wanted to let you and your listeners know that on September 14th and 15th, Milestone will be hosting its Engage conference, which is going to be from 8 a.m. to about 12 noon. And we're going to have a range of Fortune 500 company keynotes and speakers that I think everybody will find really informative. And we're going to be showcasing some interesting findings from my research, and we'll be showcasing new product innovations on the Milestone platform. So your listeners can sign up at milestoneinternet.com/resources/engage conference 2021. And we hope to see you and your listeners there. Back to you.
Hey, Eric. That was Eric was the very first guest here on the SEO Video Show. Awesome to see him stop by. For the link of the conference, check out the link in the description. Speaking of free conferences, I will be the MC for a free digital marketing conference next week on August 24th. Don't forget to sign up at sco.video/conference. Matt Diggity just posted a new video this week on how to rank for more keywords without building links using silos. Check it out.
Now first, what is an SEO silo? This concept refers to a standardized structure of your website where certain pages will link to each other based on a thoughtful, standardized pattern, typically based on relevance. Now if that sounds confusing, don't worry, I'm going to be breaking this down very, very soon. But first, let's talk about the benefits of a planned site architecture. The first benefit is topical relevance. When you have a page about protein powder and you have other pages on your website about protein powder linking to it, guess what? Google thinks you're a little bit more about protein powder, and when you make Google's life easier, they rank you higher. Second, you get a lot more mileage out of your link building. Your homepage, for example, typically gets more backlinks externally than any other page on your website. A lot of people call this backlink value link juice. With a well-planned SEO silo structure, you can make sure all of that link juice is spread around to all the pages of your website, thus increasing their rankings as well. Third, you can rank much easier for long-tail keywords. Because you successfully delivered that link juice to all the pages on your site, don't be surprised if some of those pages start ranking without any external link building at all.
Be sure to watch the full video. He goes over 5 different silo structures. Andrew Shotlin reminds us the marketing your SEO services doesn't stop with the client, and here's why.
Half the job is marketing what we're doing to all the different stakeholders and making sure that they understand this weird thing called SEO, how it's benefiting them and what the plan is. Because even though they may not have budget approval over it, they have influence in the organization. And if they don't get what you're doing, or they think that money can be spent elsewhere, they're going to be vocal about it. And so a big part of what we do is educating the internal stakeholders, not just our direct clients, but their clients, let's say. Their internal client.
Selling your SEO tactics internally can be overwhelming for those inside your company that doesn't understand SEO. It's easier to sell your strategy against your company goals. Mark Berlin shows us how to define an SEO strategy on CaliCube this past week. Let's check it out.
The limitations of tactical thinking. So where does that screw you up, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So no, I don't mind at all. YouTube, Mark. But what I just heard there is a list of tactics, different things that you can do. And what you're saying, if I understand correctly, is you need to bring them all together within one strategy so they all work together and support each other.
Correct. And so the important parts are, how long is it going to take you to do that? When do you do that? What are you doing every day? What are you doing every week? What are you doing every month? What are you doing every 6 months? What are you doing every quarter? Those are how you really define a strategy. Because if you're just kind of going like, well, today I feel like doing some GMB optimizations, or today I feel like doing some on-site optimization. You may go months upon months without ever actually checking on things that you need to check on, like reviews or link building or something like that. So without sort of the construct of, time and the recurring nature of these tactics, I don't think you have a very compelling strategy. And then you need the allowance for some creativity, Jason. So like everybody's different. Even in car dealerships, this client is going to be different from a client who lives in, Missouri is going to be very different than a client who lives in Dallas. And the approach to link building is going to be different, and the approach to review management is going to be different. So there needs to be an allowance for creativity in every single strategy, I believe.
A strategy I'm interested in learning is about using SEO for affiliate marketing. This brings me to my favorite part of the show. Please ask questions in the live chat, and I will ask them in the order that they were received. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell while I get things ready here. Jenny is experienced and highly accomplished SEO consultant, speaker, and mentor. Jenny is specialized within search falls and affiliate SEO with years of expertise in both building and managing six-figure affiliate niche websites. She is the co-founder of Cleaver Touch Marketing, an award-winning agency based out of the MENA region that works specifically with niche affiliate sites. Jenny is a strong advocate for women in SEO. Her agency was founded to offer more opportunities and long-term steady employment for women. She can also be seen as an expert speaker, panelist, and guest on numerous SEO webinars and podcasts, including the Lions Deal Show, SEO SaaS, the InLinks Knowledge Panel, SEO Mastery Summit, and so much. Please welcome Jenny Aboubaia. Jenny, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good. Yeah. How are you?
Oh, you're cutting out here. Let me see. Can you hear us? I think you're paused there.
Yes. Why it's frozen.
Ooh.
Can you hear me still?
We could hear you, but you're paused a bit. Let me see. Let's see if you want to. Do you have any like browsers open, or is it only just this browser?
Oh, just everything's switched off. It's been in the screen I can see.
Let's see. I see you're coming in and out. I can see you moving a little bit now.
Don't know what that's doing now. It's really strange.
Oh, there. I can see. Okay, now. All right. Perfect.
It's getting a bit better now.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
I don't know there. I can see myself on the little screen. Fine. I don't know why it's freezing on the line.
Are you on your phone? Or maybe if you turn off the Wi-Fi on your phone so it doesn't connect, so it can have maybe less Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Strange. Live. It's live from Egypt. This is what happens.
All right. There you go. I see you now. Welcome to the show. How are you? All right, guys. Welcome, Jenny. You want to know a fun fact? You see this SEO thing here? These letters?
Yeah. Imagine.
I actually got that idea from watching your interview with Craig a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah. So what's
really?
actually exactly? I bought it. I go, oh, I want those letters. And I actually saw it. Oh, Jenny. So I want to welcome you to the show, and I want to go ahead and you know what? I want to ask this question real quick to all my SEO professionals right when they first join. How does Jenny get ranked on page 1? Tell me in 1 minute.
Well, I think to be honest, you obviously showed Matt Diggerty's video just there as well, which that's one of the things that I'm, a big advocate of is kind of having that preempted silo structure and doing a lot of, really key research, because I think especially for niche affiliate sites, that's where a lot of people go wrong in the beginning. And that is something that can really set you up to kind of hit page 1 very quickly. And so, once you've got that, in your mind of that kind of architecture and everything of the site, it's really easy to kind of get that quality content on, do those links, and just kind of, you know, have consistency and rinse and repeat. And it's just a very, you know, it's kind of a, I don't want to say it's an easy process, but it's one of those processes that it can be just an A to Z. And if you follow the A to Z, we'll get ranked quickly. So yeah, I think that's really important.
Love it. Your first knowledge bomb of today. All right, you know what? I'm going to have to rewind this real quick. All right, Jenny, you have to take us back. Take us all the way back on how you actually first got into SEO.
Well, for anybody who's heard of me before, they probably already know that this is not something I've done for a long time. I'm sure most people come on here and they're like, oh, I've been doing SEO for 20 years. I haven't. I used to be a performer. I used to travel around the world. And then obviously I moved over to Egypt, which is where I am now. And basically everything kind of came crashing when the plane crashed back in 2015. And I also just had my daughter then, so I was kind of retiring from the performance side anyway. Started writing, basically. Started writing niche affiliate site, how I got into the affiliate anyway. And I started working with the guys over at Aurora Hacker as a writer on some of their niche affiliate sites. So yeah, started off doing that, and then basically because I was working with the guys over here anyway, I was getting more and more interested in the SEO side, because I found it really interesting as how kind of the content and the building and the SEO and everything like that kind of get together, because it's one of those things, it's something that I love about niche affiliate SEO, the fact that, you know, if you're a technical SEO, then you're kind of just doing the technical aspect. You know, some people are just link builders, but when you're running an affiliate site, you have to be a kind of jack of all trades. And that's the thing that I found interesting, was the fact that, you know, how all of this ties together, and it's about the content and it's, you know, about the keyword research and then building links to the content and so on. And yeah, so it just kind of grew from there. And that's it, really.
So you said you're a performer. What were you performing? What were you performing when you were traveling around?
Yeah, I used to I've performed. I was in Bollywood for a while. I was over in America. I was a showgirl. I rang away with a circus, with a Mexican circus. So yeah, and went across the Middle East. I used to do different contracts. So, you know, like cruise ships and all of this kind of thing. So sometimes I'm a choreographer, sometimes I'd be a dancer, sometimes I'd do dancing and singing and all different things. Yeah, so I used to perform all over the place in my younger days.
Lovely, lovely. That was cool. So I mean, when you traveled, and you said you stopped in 2015, and then you started working with Authority Hacker. So how'd you actually learn SEO?
Well, through kind of trial and error, to be honest. Like I said, obviously I started off doing the writing side of things, and it was just a case of, I mean, the agency that I have, Clever Touch, basically started as a content agency, and then we had a lot of all our clients were kind of people that were doing courses like Authority Hacker and stuff like this. So, you know, these were people who they were coming to us for the content already, and then they were like, oh, you know, I wish I could find someone reliable to do link building, or I wish I could find someone to do SEO. And it was like, oh, there's obviously kind of a, you know, there's obviously clients that already want this stuff, so we can expand. And it was just basically me trying stuff myself. I was being a big fan of kind of vocational learning. So obviously I used to be a dancer, and I trained as a dance teacher and stuff like this. So just doing every free course available, doing courses like Authority Hacker, like Matt Diggity's The Lab, and so this, like, you know, to see as well what they kind of, for as a service provider, the way they were teaching people as well, because we wanted to be able to offer content and services in the way that, you know, these people were being paid. And, you know, just trial and error on my own sites as well, just having lots of sites that, you know, I would have one site that I would test different things for content on. I would have one site that I would test, you know, different things for link building on, and things that you wouldn't necessarily do with clients. Because I think, you know, white hat and black hat and all this kind of stuff And for me, I think it's kind of a sliding scale, and it's not, not necessarily you would do anything with Black Hat for a client, for example. But for me, it's important that people understand what it is and what the limits are and things like this. So I used to do, I would have sites where I'm not really looking to rank them. I'm just trying to, test different strategies out and do different kind of case studies and all of this. And to be honest, that's probably the best way anybody can learn, is even just to, if you've got your site, that's your site that you want to rank and what have you, then have a separate site that, you just pick up a cheap domain or whatever, and you can use that to test. And, if it doesn't rank, it's fine. If it does, it's a bonus. And you can use that to do things that you don't want kind of test on your models. You don't want, obviously, to do anything and think, oops, I shouldn't have done that. So obviously, if you've got that kind of separate site, you can build your own knowledge up over time, which is one of the things I love about SEO, is the fact that, anybody can kind of do it. It's kind of a love-hate thing, because there's a lot of people, unfortunately, kind of in the online world, I think, that, aren't really kind of qualified, if you like. But then there's other people who can come from not having any experience and be, some of the best in the business. So it's a really good thing that, you can kind of self-learn, as well as so much out there online. There's so many great SEOs. Even was on last week, and Craig's one of my favorite SEOs, and he's got so many courses, and people like Matt doing videos all the time and stuff like this. So haven't got access to paid courses, for example. There's so much free knowledge out there that you can, as long as you take everything with a pinch of salt, I think, and you try things yourself, that's where obviously you're gonna learn what works, what doesn't work. Works for you, what works for your niche, and so on.
All right, you guys, be sure to make sure you test things. And I always say, like, hey, a very good white hat knows black hat. You have to keep your mind open on how you learn things. So if you know what black hat tactics, you can even apply those somewhat into your white hat tactics, just as long as you're careful. But just, hey, that's for educational purposes only. All right, guys, I want to go into the chat real quick. We have something here from Jasmine. She says, I can vouch for her dance and choreography ability as an ex-dance partner of hers. Oh, there you go. We have Jasmine. Welcome, Jasmine. Zen says, hi, Jenny. Hi, Dre. Welcome, Zen. Okay, so we have a question here from Hobby right before we go on to our few topics here. Funky question. Does your website speak Baidu, Bing, Yandex, or only Google?
I think obviously Google's the main one, but anybody who's, anybody who's in SEO is going to try and make their website kind of available to all search engines. But we all know that, Google is the big boy that everybody focuses on. But, of course, I think if, especially if you're doing affiliate and it's a money site, then of course you want to be bringing up in as much search traffic as possible. So obviously you need to be open to every kind of search engine. But of course, obviously Google is the main one.
All right, Hobby, I hope that answers your question. But speaking of affiliate websites, let's start talking about affiliate SEO. I mean, first of all, before we go through some step-by-steps, how does someone even get started in affiliate SEO? And I mean, or even affiliate marketing? Because I mean, I know it's something I want to get into, like affiliate marketing. Where do I start? If I want to start an affiliate, I first got to sign up for an affiliate, right? Like is Amazon, something like Amazon?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Amazon's kind of the easy one. I mean, we tend to work with a lot of people who are starting brand new sites. So obviously Amazon is kind of the easiest one to go with, because there isn't really any kind of prerequisites, where a lot of the kind of private affiliates, obviously, you're going to have, you have to apply for them to actually accept you. Where a good thing about Amazon, obviously there's a lot of people who say, oh, don't touch Amazon with a barge kind of thing, because the commissions are so low. But the one thing that I personally think is a really good thing about using Amazon as a starting point is if you can use that, temporarily in the beginning, especially if you're starting a site from scratch. We're not talking about, buying a ready-made site or something like this, or a site that someone's flipped, for example. Then obviously, the one thing you can do with Amazon, you're building your traffic while you're building your keywords and all of this kind of stuff, you can use Amazon as a stepping stone, as a leverage for those private affiliates. So obviously, at least if you're using Amazon, then you've got figures of your click-through rate and everything like that, and show to a private affiliate and say, look, this is what I'm doing with Amazon. So I can kind of switch that over and take that business your way instead, and that'll just help you get your foot in the door a lot of time. So yeah, it is a good place to start, but it's also worth thinking of private affiliates as well, because thinking long term, that's one thing I always talk about is, thinking of affiliate like a business. So you have to have that business plan in place. Think, 3-5 years down the line. So it's worth thinking about, when you're talking about niche selection, thinking about what private affiliates are available, what kind of commissions are available. Like, yes, you might start with Amazon on 3-4%, for example, but Liz, I'm going to, build it up and I'm going to join X affiliate, and I know their percentage is 20% or whatever, and I'm going to be able to viably do that for a long time. So it's kind of got to be, the affiliates that are available has to play a role in your niche, because that is the goal at the end of the day, is to make money from your site. So that has to come into some kind of factor that you're not planning to use Amazon for, because obviously with Amazon as well, it is a case of it's supply and demand. Amazon's a huge platform and they don't really need you as an affiliate. So we've seen many times before where there's just been a complete commission slash all of a sudden, because they don't actually want people promoting their products, like at the start of COVID. So obviously that's always a risk with Amazon. Like I say, great starting platform, but obviously just have in mind long term other kind of private affiliates, and it's a great way to pick a niche. There's some fantastic niches that I probably keep close to my chest, but that I've chosen for myself, that has been solely based on the fact of, rather than me being really interested in that niche, just the fact that you've got a private affiliate, I've got ticket prices of $3,000-$4,000 a product and a 10% commission fee. So it's like, okay, well, that's an obvious winner right there to have a go at, So yeah, so it's definitely got to come into play, I think.
Love it. Okay, guys, if you want to get an affiliate marketing, you can use Amazon to start off, and maybe your gateway to do larger niche affiliates. But you're speaking about finding niches and valuable niches, and some that you keep close to your heart. So how are you finding these niches? Like how can I find some of these niches to start promoting?
To be honest, it's one of those things where it's anything you can think to Google, there is going to be an affiliate for this. There's literally affiliates for every single thing you can think of. And I mean, if you can get access to something or Commission Junction, you can look through all the different affiliates that are on there and get a good idea of kind of, high ticket prices with good commission rates. And one thing that's really good, I see a lot of people going for kind of really popular niches, but ones that are already kind of really highly saturated, which that doesn't mean that, if you start a fitness site, for example, because you're a personal trainer, you can't make money off it. Of course you can. But a good thing to do, especially if you're a beginner and you're just getting started out, is to niche right down. So, for example, if you're really interested in fashion, you really want to get into the fashion niche, then, starting with fashion, I think one thing that people tend to think, not just competing against other affiliates. So something like a fashion site, you're going to be competing against high street brands, e-commerce for the same words. So some do is to niche right down. So, choose one area of fashion, maybe accessories. Can you niche that down even further? Maybe just designer sunglasses, for example, which would be a really good place to start. You're talking about your sunglasses are all $300-$400 each. They've got a good commission percentage. And then once you've kind of done your site architecture on your sunglasses, once you've filled everything you possibly can, then you can obviously branch out into some women's accessories in general, for example, handbags and all of this kind of stuff, to then branch even further. So when I'm talking about a business plan, for an affiliate site, that's where you'd look at doing keyword research of up to 5 years, is what I tend to do when I'm starting a new site, to see, is this a viable business model? Because the last thing you want to do is pick something that is, it's hot at the moment, but you've only got, a viable amount of keywords, say 100,000 words, which is going to last you a year, and then where are you going to go? So it's much easier to pick a popular niche that everybody knows does well, everybody knows is, can be monetized really easily, and then, like I say, just really niche it down, and then look to expand over time, pick up those low-hanging fruit in the long tail keywords in one particular area, and then once you're absolutely killing it for that particular really small niche, then you know that you've got that opportunity to expand further. And that's when you end up with these sites like the Wirecutter, for example, where you can start in one particular area and you just keep building it out, and then by the time you built it out to cover, you're a huge kind of in the niche, if you like. So that's probably the best way to look at it. Another thing to think about when you're choosing a niche is also really funny, and I talked about this not long ago on a podcast. Things that tend to Google because they're embarrassed about are really big makers. So they really, it's anything that people just like to keep on their browser history is they can make lots of money in those sense. So I know there's lots of SEOs do strange things just things like hemorrhoid creams. I know there's people have done, and things like this where people are just like, I'll just Google that, and then you've got a winner. They don't want to go anywhere apart from what you're recommending. So that's a good place to start as well.
Love it. Okay, guys, think of what would make you clear your cache or clear your history, and those would be some great starts to get some profitable niches. That's a great tip right there. All right, Jenny. Okay, so we actually have some questions come up here. Let's start with Hobby. Hobby asks, what does your SEO tech stack look like for your SEO journey?
Oh, great. In terms of tech SEO, great. Well, I think, like I was saying before, the one thing for me is, I'm not a particularly technical SEO, I wouldn't say. I'm not. I know there's a lot of other people that are way more technical than I am. But that's one thing that I like about affiliate is more the fact that we do a little bit of everything. So I wouldn't probably be the person to come to in terms of doing really technical stuff. I would definitely wouldn't be a tech SEO for a kind of main brand or something, but certainly in terms of doing things like site speed and stuff like this that we'll have to think about on an affiliate site is definitely things we touch on. So I don't think I could probably say more than that in terms of from a technical side, as that's not really my area. But I hope I answered that one all right.
I'm curious, so what actual software do you actually use, when you do your
everything, everything. I'm one of the biggest in terms of software, I'm one of the biggest junkies going. I love tools, love them. Mm-hmm. So in terms of tech specifically, obviously Sitebulb, Screaming Frog, the usuals, and then I think because I'm doing affiliate, I probably have I could probably have a little black book full of tools, I think, because obviously from the content side, we're using things like Surfer and Inlinks and Rush, Ahrefs, and then, like I say, for the more technical ones, kind of Screaming Frog and Sitebulb. Sitebulb is one of my favorites. It's just because we're doing both and doing content work. I really love Sitebulb, certainly because it's it's very visual. So if you've got a client that's just learning, sometimes if you're doing a technical audit, for example, it just gives somebody a sheet or something with this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong. It's going to help someone going forward once you fix those kind of things. So for me, something like where you can give them a full kind of report that's got all the charts in, and you can see everything. It makes it so much easier to relay that to a client. So I think I really like Screaming Frog from a technical aspect because it is really in depth, but certainly from a client perspective, Sitebulb is great, just to be able to show people exactly what's going wrong and where really. Yeah, I've got my tools list is very long.
All right. So Sitebulb is probably one of your favorite tools that you said mention. So, but we also have here Jasmine says you're a major tool geek.
Yeah, I've known Jasmine for 32 years, so she knows us very well.
All right. Thank you, Jasmine. So let's see here. We have one question from Kayak. Curious, what is a tip for affiliate keyword research for a target niche?
I like to do 2 sets of keyword research, to be honest. I like to do a really in-depth one, like I say, thinking very long term. So thinking, is it a viable niche long term? Because you have to think about it as a business, because business at the end of the day, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is don't think from a business perspective, and they just kind of jump in with 2 feet. So I like to do very long-term keyword research, first of all, because I want to have a very set site architecture. Because I think also what people don't think about is the way Google understands what your site is about. You have to think about when you're building your silo structure, you have to think about how Google understands what your site is about. It's kind of explaining it to a baby, in the sense that, when you've got a young child, they don't know that, a tree isn't connected to a lamp. For example, it doesn't understand that there isn't a connection there. It doesn't understand that orange is both a color and a fruit. So you have, you can't just say you want, think about like local SEO, talking about a plumber, for example. You can't just say you want a plumber, because you have to explain what a plumber is. If you were talking to somebody who didn't know what a plumber was, just think about when you're building your site as well, because you have to have all of that support and content so that Google can understand exactly what your post has to make those connections. So it's really important to have solid architecture so that you're filling out each area of your site. Because, for example, if we're talking about, let's say we're doing on dogs, for example, you're going to have different areas for top level categories. You might be, nutrition, might be accessories and beds and things like this, might be health conditions, all of this kind of stuff. And then from there, you're going to have, under nutrition, you're going to have different types of foods and all of this kind of stuff. So obviously you have to think about your supporting content and your long tail keywords just as much as you're thinking about your top level content, because that's what's going to let Google understand what level content is. And something long term does both of those in terms of, in your mind, okay, this is going to work really well. I know I've got, very big silos that can fill out there, that can take a lot. And it's also letting you know that it's going to be viable long term, because that, well, quite easily here I've got 600,000-700,000 words of content, for example, that's going to see us through X amount of time. And then obviously once you've got that set out, you've got that plan in your mind in terms of building your site and building the content site architecture, then you're going to do continuous keyword research. So obviously once you've built out your kind of core architecture, then once you start filling out your silos, you're going to be looking at, because obviously keyword volumes, keywords, everything change all the time. Everything changes in Google all the time. So you want to stay up to date on trends and obviously things that are, got higher keyword volume and all of that kind of stuff. So like I say, tend to do a big batch in the beginning, so as part of your niche selection that this is going to be a viable niche, and basically how. And then as you're doing your content, smaller batches, so that you can obviously see everything date and beating the keywords that at that moment in time are going to be, the most profitable for your site, basically.
Love it. All right. So it actually brings us to our next question here by Stefan. He goes, so what type of articles work best for affiliate sites?
Well, in my opinion, looking at how things have been going, the way things are going forward, obviously not that long ago we had the reviews update from Google, and it's my personal opinion that basically, I keep preaching about this a little bit, that I think personally going to be, we're going to see a kind of medic style update, I think, eventually across all niches, where I think that two things. I think it's going to look that everybody has to be some kind of expert. There's not going to be the hobby blogger anymore, regardless of whether it's a your money, your life niche or not. I think there's going to have to be some kind of expertise there, some kind of qualification. And I also think Google at some point is going to be able to scan your site and see what percentage of content is just money content and what percentage of content is info content. Because really, if you think about the goal of Google, you know, it's wanting to give their users information. It's the whole point is being able to educate and inform, rather than you're not just supposed to be making money from these sites. So to me, it's going to be mainly looking at, you know, they want a higher percentage of info content rather than review style content. So what I've been telling a lot of my clients to do is kind of move away from the traditional X for Y, you know, roundup reviews and this kind of thing. Actually do is look to do more info content, but monetize that in a subtle way. So for example, we talked about sunglasses before. See what you're doing, you can anyway, what you want to be doing, even in terms of reviews, is single product reviews and versus reviews, because first of all, your site visitors are further down the line at that point, because, you know, if I'm looking at Ray-Ban Predator sunglasses, I've already made a decision in my mind that I'm interested in those, to buy them specifically anyway. So I just want more information on them. So what you can do is you can do an article on those sunglasses, give all the details about them, everything anybody wants to know, how to spot fakes from originals, all of this kind of stuff. And then you can just have a very subtle part in it. Where can I buy these? What's the best points, kind of thing like that. And you can have a very subtle call to action in there, you know, where you've got your Amazon link or whatever, a nice little custom product box, something like this. And the same with your versus content. So you can do, you know, two products against each other, talking about what's the benefits, you know, and in these kind of articles, you can still slip in, you know, like on Amazon, they have, if you scroll down a product page, they'll often have like a table where it has the product you're talking about, and it gives you 3 or 4 other products, and it tells you, you know, the star rating and compare to each other. There's nothing stopping you having a comparison table like that in your versus reviews, or even in your single product reviews, to say, how does this particular product stand up against others, without necessarily having your 5 product roundup. So you can still have those links in there, 5 products, but it's done in a very more educational way, rather than a blatant outright, you know, I'm promoting this product's great, click here to buy it. It's more this is the product you're interested in, just for your information, this is how it stands up to, you know, the competitors, or, you know, the other possibly even if it's a brand, for example, Ray-Ban, this is how this particular stands up to these other types of Ray-Ban sunglasses, for example. So I think because we're looking at the reviews update, I think those will only over time get more extensive. So I think it's not a case of really thinking, how can I fall in line with what's already in place? You have to think about the future of where can this go to. So to stop me getting just hit by an update later down the line, and I now make sure that I'm still monetizing the site, but doing so in a way that Google's going to like long term.
Wow, love that. Okay, Stefan, I hope that helped answer your question. That was a great answer. We have versus content being more info and not too much, not too pushy there. Love it. Okay, we got some more questions coming. They're rolling in here, Jenny. So let's go one. We got Hi from Finland. Love the show. Do you use any backlinking strategies?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, the main thing I can use, and anybody who know that obviously there's just been the spam update. So obviously link building at the minute is something that a lot of people are having to look at. So for me personally, the thing that we like to do, we offer it as a service, is actually earned media. So using things like Help a Reporter, Turkle, all of these websites where you're replying to journalists as a source, and then because the thing that I like about is, talking about, in the future, we're looking at probably a medic style update, for example. They're also building your AAT. So if you're answering a query in something like Haro, for example, as an expert, you're not only getting that link to your site, which sometimes, you can get links to really, really high quality media sites. You're also your own name as a brand and as an expert. So then obviously, you're building up your kind of your digital footprint for that niche as well. So it's thinking about it from that aspect and not just link building. But then obviously, there's still the traditional, like, obviously you can do guest posts and stuff like this, but I think really going forward, people just have to, again, the same like the content, you just have to think moving forward, because these updates are rolling in now, where I go. So obviously making sure that if you are doing things like paid guest posting and things like this, making sure that you're doing it properly and not, you're not going to sites that have got guest posts here all over the site and guest authors. It's done in a very subtle way, and doing things like digital PR. I think digital PR is just as the content side of things. So doing press releases, like I say, doing the earned media, something like Haro. Like I say, we do it as a service for new sites as well, because it's a great way to build up that author authority as well. I mean, I think even just the little things that we're seeing from Google all the time. And I mean, obviously, we know that Google has these major updates that they roll out all the time, but they are updating stuff all the time. And even just a few days ago, they're updating schema and specific author schema. So they are looking more and more at the kind of authority of the author and who they are. And so I think building up that kind of AAT, that expertise and authority within the niche is just as important when you're building your link building, doing your link building. So I think obviously focusing on those kind of techniques rather than the traditional guest posts and niche edits and kind of stuff is definitely the way forward at this point. Just to kind of looking at the spam update and everything like that. So I mean, we do a little bit of everything, and certainly for my own sites, I do different things as well. And so I think it's kind of a sliding scale, and it's what works for your niche and your site and you. It works for your budget, works for what you're happy to do. I mean, we're talking about, white hat, black hat, and there's lots of different things you can do in terms of link building. And I think that's a very personal thing as well. It's what you want to do for your site, what works for you. So, but for me personally, like I say, I definitely think that digital PR is definitely the way to go at the minute, in terms of kind of, like I say, building both links and authority and avoiding that kind of spam update side of things as well.
Love it. Nico, I hope that answers the question. I mean, I'm curious with Haro. I mean, because since you're doing like affiliate sites, like is it easy for them to still link, like use you as a like I'm not sure how it works, but I mean, if you're doing affiliate sites,
it is hard. We do all affiliate sites, and I know a lot of companies that do service well, and they're mainly doing, like they're doing it for SEO and stuff like this. So they're working with real people. The key is, I think, what everybody has to think about, because a lot of people I mean, a huge percentage of our clients, the personas on the site are fake. They're not real. Because there's a lot of people who, someone like yourself, for example, you were saying about what and you've already got a digital footprint in terms of SEO. So, you're not really going to kind of start an affiliate site, for example, and suddenly be a SOC expert. So, like, you've got people who have high profile jobs, and maybe they want, an affiliate as a kind of side hustle, but they can't put their face to the site, if you like. So obviously there's kind of a fake persona on there for that reason, to protect themselves. But obviously the thing about it is basically making that kind of catfish as real as possible. So you can do fake personas easily, but it's a little bit more thought, because you really do need to think about things like setting up social media and doing things like Haro and press releases and things like that actually build the digital footprint of the fake persona. So it's actually a lot easier then to start doing proper link building and things like that, because obviously there's already like I say, a digital footprint for that person where they've been, if you've done a press release, you've maybe had hundreds of this press release come across hundreds of media sites, and that. So it is a little bit harder to land links, especially new site, and there's no digital footprint for that person. So, but it's just about, doing it, thinking about it carefully, and doing social media, but doing social media very naturally, because obviously you can get blocked from things like Facebook if they think it's not a real person. So, doing stuff like, even we did one persona for a website that was kind of like, it was all spiritual stuff and like numerology and stuff like this. And we did social media for the woman was a fake persona, and it was just like, even doing things like posting pictures of our cats. Well, they weren't her real cats, but just like posting pictures of cats, posting pictures of our lunch, which wasn't really our lunch, and stuff like this, just that normal people would do, because it kind of sets off red flags if like you build this Facebook, for example, that's just all about the site that you've got, and so I do it very naturally. It can work very, very well. I mean, obviously I wouldn't say specifically who, but we have some clients who their sites have fake personas, and those fake personas are influencers. They've got thousands and thousands of followers, and they're not a real person. So it can work very, very well if done the right way. But definitely that's where kind of that earned media comes in, because if you can well and land those links, obviously that's building up that digital footprint. So that makes it a lot easier then to kind of expand that even further. So one thing that I would say is just make sure, if you are doing something like that and you are using fake personas, have a really in-depth about page on your website. Like, talk about this person, where they're from, how they got into the niche, and so on, is the founder. And what we tend to advise clients is to have multiple personas that you can use for something like Harrow, where you're going to have your main persona is the expert, for example, and the founder, and then you're going to have someone who's the social media manager, someone who's the the marketing person or whatever, that you can then respond to things on Harrow from their account. That's not specifically niche specific, but to do with their marketing manager can answer things about marketing, the social media can answer the queries about social media, and then it's what that's doing is that's building up a digital footprint for this whole team and building it as an organization, even though it's not real. So,
man. I love that. Okay, I mean, man, you should do a course on fake personas, because I see that. Fake personas is like, not as a good thing, but there's so much like activity that needs to be done to make it an actual influence. Because you said you've actually had some fake personas that are actually influencers that are not real people.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
it's a bit crazy. Yeah.
All right, we have Nico saying, sounds a bit like a story from this one professor from University of Calcutta. Okay, we have Garth here saying, you just said how you tell if the glasses are fake. Just reminded me of an old site I had, fake coach purses, an info site that was an eBay affiliate. Yeah, I love the way how you were talking about when you're writing your products and making sure you're just going deep and doing the versus stuff. That's great stuff. But man, I'm so interested in this fake persona thing, because if you can build that, because you're really establishing that expertise, authority, and trust. And whatever they do, you could launch the business or an affiliate around this persona.
Yeah.
So I think the money,
And another really good tip is actually to work with micro influencers. And what you can do is, especially because if you're looking at something like a Your Money, Your Life site, like let's say fitness, for example, what you can do is there's a lot of people out there who are, even you can go on something like Fiverr. This is a little tip for you. We did this once. We went on Fiverr, and people, who are kind of selling, like where they'll do like reviews of your site and things like this, like being a spokesperson, and they do them for like $20-$30, for example. And there's ones they'll do, especially in fitness and stuff like this, they'll do modeling type photos for so many dollars. They'll do spokesperson videos. They'll do workout videos, and you can do a deal with that person that like, okay, put you as, you know, I want to put you as the face of my site. I've got this fitness site. I really want to make you the face of it. And you can actually get people to do it for free, and you negotiate with them in the sense that, okay, I'm going to have a professional certified personal trainer do all the writing. We're going to edit it. We're going to make it, you know, it's going to be fantastic. And we're going to let you put your name to it. So we'll just want to put your name to it, and you can share that as your own content and build up your own kind of personal brand using our content. And then in return, all we'll want is kind of once a month, if you do a video for YouTube, your YouTube channel, that's, you know, for our website. And then you can build on that relationship and be like, you know, down the line we'll want to release you know, our own kind of fitness course, or you know, personal training routine, and you know, we'll give you a code, and you can be an affiliate for us, and blah, blah, blah. You can do stuff like that with, and like I say, I mean, we've done it where we've paid people on Fiverr to be models, to give with to do a fake persona on this person, and you know, let the person know, of course, obviously they have to agree to it. But we had one girl who did photos of herself kind of in an office environment, and then she was out running and all of this kind of stuff, so that we could build the social media and the site and make it look like a real person. We didn't just have you know, the one kind of standard picture where it's just that one photo that you've got. We wanted to use a model so that we could obviously like have a variety of photos to make it look more realistic, because you can use this person does not exist. You can Google this person does not exist, and you'll get basically an A-rated face that regenerates it, and it never does again. So you're the only person who gets that, and you can use those ones. But like I say, if you want a really established kind of, like you say, AAT, then obviously, you know, on that little extra mile, which might cost you a little bit extra money. But I mean, to be honest, for people, it's costing maybe $100 to get a few different photos of someone that then we can use, you know, we can use on the site. For example, if you are doing a site about running, then, you know, you've got pictures of the girl who's supposed to be the persona actually running. You've got her in an office environment for our about page and stuff like this, rather than just this standard "this person does not exist" photo. So that's a little tip for you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That just spawned some great ideas. Oh my God. But that's okay. We're coming very, very close to time here. Time flew by here, but I just want to go ahead and say what's up to everybody in chat here. We have one here where you have Jasmine. I have an ex with multiple personas. Oh no. No, you don't want to clap on that one. That's a funny one. I pressed the wrong button there, but that's there we go. All right, Jasmine, that's pretty funny. Okay, we have Mother's Community, great show. But you know what? I have to ask you, Jenny, before you go. I always ask for this before I let go of all my guests here on the show. It's like, if someone wants to get into SEO or become an SEO professional, what is that one tip that you can give them?
I think, like I said at the beginning, to be honest, it's kind of accessing all of the information that's out there and taking it with a little grain of salt and practicing everything yourself. Because, you know, there is going to be, at the end of the day, if somebody's like an influencer in SEO, for example, or they're doing a course or whatever, they have to have that unique selling point, that thing that makes them different to everybody. Because, like, you know, if I want you to buy my course, what makes my course different to every other course that's out there, for example? So you have to take those things with a little pinch of salt, because obviously, like I say, people are doing it to build that personal brand as well as automation, and you have to have that in the back of your mind. But there is so many people out there that, you know, you can take everything that's out there, and like I say, you can pick up a domain for what, $10 or something on GoDaddy, pick up a domain, pick up some cheap hosting and something like SiteGround, and just practice, have your own practice site that you don't care if it's manual action, you don't care if it never ranks, you don't care, because the whole idea is that is your practice site. That is the one that you can see if something works and try that over to your actual money site, and that's going to be the best experience you can ever get. Really, to be honest, if you want to learn SEO, is literally testing everything yourself. I'm a big person on you know, doing SEO tests, doing case studies and stuff like this, and it is probably the best advice that would give someone, is just to test themselves.
Love it. Thank you for that. Okay, so we are at the end of the show here. I want to give the floor to you. If you have any last words, any advice, and how can people get a hold of you, please let us know.
Yeah, so you can get a hold of me on our websites, but the main one is Clever Touch Marketing, so that's our main company site. But we also have the Affiliate Marketing Experts, which that basically does done for you affiliate websites, starter sites, things like this. And we also have a free course through there called SERP, which is a free affiliate marketing course, and I've teamed up with a lot of other SEOs like Craig Campbell and people like this to build that course, so that's free. And SEO with Jenny is me. You can find my site that way, and you can find us on Twitter and LinkedIn, SEO with Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny, for being my special guest today. Can you please hold on for right before I can sign off real quick? And just hold on real quick.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul-Andre De Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!